Hello, this is Jay Tope, and he's a student here at UTSA. I was just wondering, could you tell us about any experiences with discrimination you may have had?
Well, the experiences that I had weren't necessarily discriminations against myself, but I did experience, and watch other people that had to put up with discrimination. There was an incident in which this one girl that was having some trouble speaking English was doing a special report in her class. And at the end of the presentation, the teacher says, "Could I ask you a question?" And again, this is in front of the whole class. And she says, "Yes." And he says, "Is English your second language? Because it sure doesn't sound like it's your first." There's gasps in the classroom. And he just says, sit down, and just goes on to the next person. And I thought that was just a really, tough situation for somebody to go through, especially, in the 21st century. It's, and during that same semester, the same teacher, there were two African American students, and whenever he was asking them questions, he would say, "Well, what do you think you people think?" And, it was just, again, a very uncomfortable semester that I took.
Wow.
And it wasn't the fact that it was, only 6 or 7 years ago makes it even more uncomfortable to think about.
Right.
What went on.
Were there
Yeah.
any
Well, thank
noticeable advantages given to students of differing or similar ethnic or skin color?
When I was in high school many years ago, I had a teacher who taught keyboarding class. That's how old I am. And she was a black lady, and she definitely gave minorities an advantage in the classroom, i.e., if they were late on assignments, they could make it up and get a better grade for late work than the white students did. She would also provide black students or minorities with extra help when they needed it, or would help them on the weekends at little tutoring session. But in the end, it was parents raised an issue with this at the school, and it was addressed.
What do you think? How does diversity in teachers affect students?
I know as a student, I like to see teachers that have like a lot of different races, just because I'm mixed. I like seeing other representations, like a black teacher or a Spanish teacher. I like seeing all the races kind of like represented, so because we're already such a diverse campus, so that's how I feel about it.
That's how you feel. And what does diversity in the classroom mean to you? Like with just students, teachers?
I think when you have a lot of different types of people and different cultural backgrounds and racial backgrounds, you get a really great mix of everything. You have a lot of people's different views, you have a lot of people's different backgrounds, kind of helping the class go about and kind of conversation.
Okay, cool. So, what do you think the teacher can do to promote healthy interactions in their classroom?
Well, there's like a various things a teacher can do, but mostly what most teachers do is that they either do activities for all the kids to participate. They put the desks in groups, or even they have a big desk with all the students sitting near her, so they could all sit right next to each other, interact with each other, know each other.
What experiences, if any, that involve discrimination?
Well, I've never had any experience, but I have indeed witnessed someone have a bad experience in school. There was this time in middle school where this student, it's a guy, yes, I'm not gonna say his name, poor, to make it seem simple. And other students would make fun of him because he didn't have the best shoes, he didn't have the best pants, he didn't have the best wardrobe in general. He didn't really comb his hair or anything like that. It was just to not being mean or anything, a homeless man basically. And they would always make fun of him every single day, spread rumors about him and stuff like that. As they spread rumors about him, everybody believed it and started talking more about him, started putting things that were not true about him. And another thing besides students making fun of his wardrobe, he was different type of person. Everybody has their own personality. He had a different personality, and they would make fun of it. But it was really sad because everybody has their own personality. Not everyone's gonna be the same, and they thought he had to be the same as they were. So yeah, that was like one of the experiences I witnessed.
How do you work with students from diverse cultural backgrounds, and when have you demonstrated or contributed student diversity in a prior situation?
My experience in special education, I've always worked with students who were different, who learned differently, who came from different backgrounds, and they didn't have the opportunities or the access to certain support services that were offered to other students. And so what we've done is work really closely with the families and with outside agencies. And we've involved counselors and social workers and other professionals from outside agencies that help us meet the student where they're at, connect to the student, make learning relevant to the student and meaningful, and really tailor their academics to their needs, to their individual needs. Because that's not only the law regarding special ed students, but that's just best practice.
Do you find students from different cultural backgrounds have different learning needs? If so, how may a teacher ensure the student understands the material according to their needs?
The way a teacher gets to know the student's individual needs, whether it be cultural, different cultural backgrounds, or the culture of the disability that the student has, is by getting to know the student, by talking to the student, by building a relationship with the student and with the parents and with the family. But first and foremost, teachers must establish a positive relationship, a positive rapport with the student, so that the student will want to learn from that teacher, will be motivated to learn in that classroom.
Okay.